Good afternoon, I'm Mai Rodriguez. Today on Newsfeed at noon, throngs of Filipinos flock to cemeteries this All Saints Day. We'll give you a look at the situation on the ground and the roads going out of Metro Manila. The country's police chief wants disgraced religious leader Apollo Quiboloy to suffer in jail. The death toll in Spain's worst flooding in decades hits 158. And we'll tell you about an AI-powered avatar that's offering a lifeline for people with Alzheimer's and dementia. Thanks for joining us. Security is tight in the country's largest public cemetery as thousands are there to pay respects to their departed loved ones this All Saints Day. Joining us now from the Manila North Cemetery is Pierre Pastor. Pierre, what is it like there this morning?
Mai, it's sunny and it's very, very warm here at the Manila North Cemetery, and more people are coming. As of 11 a.m., we already have a crowd estimate of 572,000 visitors. Authorities says about 1 million visitors are expected to come today at the Manila North Cemetery. And this is the usual number of visitors here every November 1st. The police is on heightened alert. Hundreds of policemen are deployed along with the force multipliers like personnel from the MMDA. Strict inspection upon entry is being implemented. Among the materials confiscated earlier were bottles of cologne and perfume and alcohol and some lighters. Authorities also discourage bringing kids to the cemetery, but if this is unavoided, they need to be registered at the gate and must be wearing a name tag with the contact numbers of their guardians.
Pierre, wow, 1 million visitors expected. Yes, today, 1 million visitors. Now, in case of health emergencies, are there enough assistance that you're seeing there?
Yeah, actually, earlier at 9 a.m., there was a 36-year-old male who was brought to the hospital. Apparently, he was complaining of chest pains and difficulty in breathing. And we saw several elderlies being attended to by the MMDRO and the Philippine Red Cross. Yes, the DRRMO and the Philippine Red Cross is very ready to assist in case of health emergency. Mai?
Thank you. Pierre Pastor reporting to us live from the Manila North Cemetery. President Bongbong Marcos visited the tomb of his father, former President Ferdinand E. Marcos Sr. Francis Palve is on the scene at the Libingan ng mga Bayani. Francis, how was the president's visit there? Who was with him?
The president's mother, former First Lady Imelda Romualdez Marcos, was with him for All Saints Day here at the Libingan ng mga Bayani this morning. Former First Lady arrived a little past 9 o'clock this morning. His son, President Bongbong Marcos, immediately followed her a few minutes later. The president quickly greeted his supporters and proceeded beside his mom. A mass was celebrated by AFP Chief Chaplain Reverend Father Roy Ungao. The first family, First Lady Lisa Araneta Marcos and their children Ferdinand Alexander, Joseph Simon, and William Vincent, including President Marcos's siblings, Irene and Senator Amy, were not in the event. According to the Philippine Army, Senator Amy visited yesterday, but their closest friends, along with hundreds of Marcos loyalists and supporters, some came all the way from Ilocos, joined the family. There is no formal program in the event, but President Marcos took time to deliver his message of thanks to their solid supporters who were all wearing red, the prominent color of the Marcoses. The president adds, the former First Lady prepared foods for all of them. Meanwhile, Mai, for the public, the Philippine Army is implementing a tighter security in the entrance. There is only one gate in the cemetery, but vehicles are no longer allowed to enter. Military personnel are positioned in strategic places to limit access going to the tomb of the fallen heroes and to the area going to the tomb of former President Marcos Sr. Nearby is also the grave of former presidents such as Fidel Valdez Ramos, Carlos P. Garcia, Elpidio Quirino, and Diosdado Macapagal. The president has given wreaths for each of their tombs.
Kaya't naman naging makabuluhan ang aming undas dahil sa inyong pagdating at lalong-lalo na dahil nararamdaman namin na mula sa inyo ang pagmamahal ninyo at sa aking ama at sa pag-alala sa aking ama. Maraming salamat sa inyong lahat.
Mai, as of 10 this morning, some 20,046 visitors came here, and they're expecting more than 80,000 visitors to visit the departed loved ones here at the Libingan ng mga Bayani until tomorrow. Mai?
Francis, did the president finally comment on VP Sara Duterte's much talked about remark, if you recall, that threatening statement on exhuming his father's remains and dumping it in the West Philippine Sea? I heard he was asked about that today. Francis?
Yes, Mai, before the president left this morning, he was asked by reporters to comment on that, and President Marcos Jr. said he'd rather not talk about it. Also, we had the follow-up question to him about his relationship with Vice President Sara Duterte, and the president said, in his exact words, Mai, let's talk about it some other time. Mai?
Thank you. Francis Falve reporting to us live from the Libingan ng mga Bayani. In his Undas message, President Marcos urges Filipinos to remember those who paved the way for our present prosperity. Marcos describes the occasion as an opportune moment to fortify our bond for the betterment of our spiritual life. He says this day of memorial should also rekindle in us the drive to be better persons, better Filipinos, and better stewards of the nation. As Undas travelers head to the country's main gateway to fly to their respective provinces, a scheduled water supply interruption is about to hit the NAIA Terminal 3 this afternoon. But airport authorities say they have prepared contingency measures for this. Let's get details from Hannah T. She joins us live at the NAIA. Hannah.
Mai, the new NAIA Infrastructure Corporation assures the public their team is fully prepared for the scheduled water interruption here in NAIA Terminal 3, set to begin today at 2 p.m. And an IC General Manager Angelito Alvarez told BNC in a text message that they have coordinated with Maynilad and San Miguel Corporation Infrastructure to have multiple water delivery trucks on standby, ensuring that water supply needs will be met. More than 3 million liters of water will be stored in tanks with additional water trucks positioned as a backup. Although we haven't seen them yet, water containers will be placed in restrooms to accommodate passengers and staff throughout the afternoon and the evening. Travelers are advised to conserve water and report any leaks to help maintain an adequate supply for everyone. While the crowd flow is still manageable at this hour, NAIA is expecting up to 130,000 travelers today. My foot traffic is projected to increase this afternoon and into the evening, like the turnout we saw yesterday. And those are the latest here in NAIA. Back to you, Mai.
Thank you. Hannah T. reporting live from the NAIA. In other news, Leon, which battered northern Luzon as a super typhoon, is now out of the Philippine area of responsibility. But Weather Bureau Pag-asa says its trough or extension continues to affect the country, particularly Zambales, Bataan, Occidental Mindoro, and Palawan. Latest data from National Disaster Officials show reported deaths from the combined effects of Leon and Tropical Storm Christine stand at 150. Damage to infrastructure is pegged at 6.8 billion pesos, while damage to agriculture reached 4.5 billion pesos. We begin world news in what is now among Europe's worst storm disasters, the devastating floods in eastern Spain. The death toll has reached 158. That number feared to rise further as rescuers are still searching for dozens of missing. A year's worth of rain fell in just 8 hours in the eastern region of Valencia on Tuesday. And meteorologists are warning climate change is making such extreme weather events more frequent and destructive. Taiwan also dealing with serious flooding that swept across the island at the height of Typhoon Kongray or Super Typhoon Leon here in the Philippines. Kongray hit Taiwan's east coast, dumping strong winds and torrential rain and leaving at least one person dead. Kongray is the largest storm to hit Taiwan in nearly 30 years. It is forecast to slam into China next.
Asked the former chiefs to give a statement because it's already nasabi na kasi ni.
We're taking a quick break. Up ahead, the country's police chief wants disgraced religious leader Apollo Quiboloy to suffer in jail. That and more when Newsfeed at Noon returns. You're still watching Newsfeed at Noon here on BNC. Let's now head to the Parañaque Integrated Terminal Exchange to check on the situation there as the All Saints Day exodus continues. Soonjin Kim joins us for an update. Soonjin?
Mai, this Friday, the Parañaque Integrated Terminal Exchange is expecting approximately 160,000 passengers. Yesterday, there are more than 190,000 passengers here at the PITX. There have been no reported trip cancellations so far, but some bus lines, particularly those bound for Bicol, remain non-operational due to impassable roads damaged by recent storms. As part of Oplan Biyaheng Ayos Undas 2024, various assistance desks were also set up here by the Philippine Coast Guard, the Parañaque City Police Station, the Bureau of Fire, and the Highway Patrol Emergency Aid. Ambulances are stationed at the main entrance, and a clinic is available 24/7 for any incidents or injuries. From October 30 to 31, authorities have confiscated 64 prohibited items, including flammable and pointed or sharp objects such as knives, butane, and scissors. With a steady flow of passengers at the terminals, the PITX maintains heightened security measures and medical assistance on site. The PITX assures the public they've been thorough with regular checking and monitoring of the drivers' fitness to drive, as well as the passengers' drug testing. Back to you, Mai.
Thank you, Soonjin Kim, reporting from the PITX. Taking a look now at the traffic situation at the North Luzon Expressway as members of the Iglesia ni Cristo hold an event at the Philippine Sports Stadium. Let's bring in Zandro Chona, who is monitoring developments there. Zandro, how's the situation along the NLEX?
Mai, it's fast in moving here at the NLEX, specifically around the vicinity of Ciudad de Victoria. NLEX head for traffic operations Robin Ignacio said the heavy traffic experienced yesterday only lasted until 11 p.m. And since this morning, they have recorded any surge in the traffic flow along the expressway. The NLEX management earlier released an advisory about an event of the Iglesia ni Cristo at the Philippine Sports Stadium. But this has no effect so far to the traffic situation around the area as traffic flow remains light. Authorities say the long weekend could have helped our kababayans in planning out their out-of-town trips, and some of them may have started their trips earlier. NLEX also recorded only one accident in an area before reaching Maykawayan, Bulacan. A truck rammed the median lane at around 8 a.m., causing a slowdown of vehicles in the area. They opened the zipper lane to help ease the traffic flow, but the area has been cleared by now. Mai?
Zandro, what about when the INC event finishes later this evening? Should motorists steer clear of that area, and what parts of NLEX, if any?
We've been getting reports from NLEX that the event actually started 9 this morning. And so far, ever since the 11 p.m. traffic situation eased up last night, they have not recorded any surge. So I believe also the NLEX management is suggesting that they can still use the NLEX the North Luzon Expressway even until the event of the Iglesia ni Cristo finishes at 9 this evening. Mai?
Yes, thank you. Let's hope for smooth travel for our motorists and kababayans. Thank you for that report, Zandro Ochona. The country's police chief wants an airtight case against disgraced religious leader Apollo Quiboloy. Quiboloy is currently detained at the PNP Custodial Center in Camp Crame on charges of child abuse and human trafficking. The pastor, who calls himself the appointed son of God, is also wanted in the United States for his alleged role in a sex trafficking scheme.
We want to make sure talagang tight talaga yung kaso. We want to make sure that yung talagang si Quiboloy will suffer talaga in jail. Yan ang gusto namin.
The police chief also asserts forcing drug suspects to fight back to justify deadly response from authorities is outright illegal. This is in reaction to former President Rodrigo Duterte's Senate testimony that he ordered policemen to convince suspects to violently resist arrest so that cops could shoot and kill them.
Number one, mali yan. Ngayon, ang gusto ng presidente natin, we have to respect yung human rights, preserve human life. I don't believe on yung mabilisan na justice.
On BNC's On Point, General Marbel also said he wants cases of extrajudicial killings during the previous administration solved. He recently ordered cold cases reopened and instructed investigators to gather more evidence and file the necessary charges.
Marami kasing unsolved cases last time and we want to solve it. Yun ang burden nasa PNP ngayon to really solve yung cases. And people are clamoring for justice.
The fight is not over for Energy Regulatory Commission Chair and CEO Mona Lisa de Malanta, despite the lifting of the suspension order against her. On BNC's agenda, de Malanta acknowledged the complaint she faces from consumer group Nasecor has not yet been resolved. In September, the ombudsman suspended her for 6 months amid allegations of grave misconduct and abuse of authority when she approved Meralco's application for a power rate hike. The ombudsman recently lifted the suspension order for reasons still unclear.
Tuloy pa rin po yung kaso, pero dahil po sa pag-uutos ng ombudsman through the office of the executive secretary, kailangan ko na pong bumalik sa trabaho. I think this is the only time that, sabi ko nga po sa mga kakilala ko, this is the only time that I'm happy that vacation is interrupted.
Nasecor says they were shocked and not properly informed about the lifting of the suspension order, as well as the ombudsman's decision to junk their request to cite de Malanta for indirect contempt. The group is discussing their next steps with their legal team.
Kung sa lifting ng suspension na yan, medyo maiiba ang ating pag-uusapan ngayon at inaantay lang namin ngayon yung copy namin, yung order ng October 22, October 22, 2024 na hanggang ngayon hindi pa namin natatanggap.
Local pump prices poised to see mixed movements next week. Based on industry estimates, gasoline prices may go down by around 70 centavos per liter. Diesel prices may see no movement or a 20 centavo per liter rollback, but kerosene prices may rise by up to 20 centavos. The Energy Department says tighter supply of kerosene and gasoline in the ASEAN market may drive pump prices higher, but these could be offset by Israel's declaration of willingness to negotiate in its conflict with Lebanon. We're taking another breather. After the break, we'll tell you how an AI-powered avatar is helping people with Alzheimer's and dementia. Stay with Newsfeed at noon. We'll be right back. As millions across the globe suffer from Alzheimer's and dementia, artificial intelligence is offering them a lifeline. A first-of-its-kind AI avatar, Liv, has been developed to give them advice and companionship, and everything is drawn from first-hand experiences.
Oh, hello there. My name is Liv. I'm the world's first artificial intelligence, created with input from real people living with dementia. They've shared all their experiences and wisdom with me, so I can share it with you and help with any questions or thoughts you might have. I understand that living with dementia can sometimes feel confusing, but you don't have to navigate it alone. I'm here to support you along the way. But enough about me. What would you like to talk about today?
Gail Gregory, who was diagnosed with Alzheimer's in 2019 at age 54, was among those who contributed to the Avatar project.
It's quite a lonely place to be in when you get a diagnosis, because they give you the diagnosis and hand you a load of leaflets, and then that's it. You're sort of back into the outside world and the unknown world of dementia, which is quite scary. There's very little support out there for people with dementia. So to develop something like an AI person that's going to be there 24/7. So when you have a query or a little worry, you could ask this AI person and you will get an answer. And I think that it's quite invaluable, really, when you think about it.
And before we go, you can now plan your trips or vacations this early, as the list of regular holidays and special working and non-working days for 2025 is out. In the list Malacanang released Thursday, the regular holidays include New Year's Day, Maundy Thursday and Good Friday, Labor Day, Independence Day, and of course, Christmas Day. The special non-working days include Ninoy Aquino Day, the Feast of the Immaculate Conception of Mary, and the last day of 2025. While special working days include the EDSA People Power Anniversary, Chinese New Year, and Christmas Eve. And those are the news this hour. I'm Mai Rodriguez. Keep it here on BNC, the Bilyonaryo News Channel. Good afternoon and happy weekend.